As we head into May, will a battle zone of extreme weather be on the way? I'll be breaking that all down coming up in this video. Hi y'all, welcome back. Looks like we do have some severe weather today, as there is a slight risk which spans from southern Oklahoma all the way down into Texas. All hazards are possible today, with a 5% chance of seeing tornadoes within this red zone here and a 2% within this green zone, which spans all the way up into Colorado. Now, as far as the damaging wind threat goes today, there is a 5% chance here in the red. And as far as large hail threat goes, there's a pretty big chance of seeing some large hail today, as there's a 50% hatched area here in the yellow, and a 5% chance of running that, which spans all the way up into Colorado as well. Now, as we head into Hump Day, there is an enhanced risk here in the orange up here in eastern Texas, with a slight risk surrounding that here in the yellow. Now, the hazards are going to be a 5% chance of seeing tornadoes here in the red and 2% surrounding that. As far as the damaging wind threat goes, there's a pretty high chance of seeing that tomorrow. There's a 30% chance here in the red and a 50% in the yellow. As far as large hail threat goes, there is a pretty big chance of seeing that as well, as there is a 50% hatch here in the yellow and a 5% in the red. But then as we head into day 3, there is just a marginal risk, which spans from Louisiana all the way up into Alabama. So let's go ahead and take a look at the timing of when you could expect the worst from the severe weather. Let's take a look at the high resolution name. Keep in mind the date and times up here if you want to keep track. I'm going to push this forward, and not much is going to be happening until right around 8 o'clock tonight. As you can see, we have some supercells that are starting to initiate. And with that, it's going to bring with it some damaging winds and some large hail. Tornado cannot be ruled out today, as there is a 5% chance. So never fear, shelter is near. And as we head into the overnight hours, it's going to turn more into a flooding threat, as there is a slight risk for excessive rainfall today for upwards of 2 to 4 inches. And as we head off into Hump Day, where the enhanced risk has been issued, looks like that much is going to be happening. Mid-afternoon non-severe storm is going to be forming, and the main story is going to be happening at right around 7 o'clock. As you can see, we have some renegade supercells out there. With any of those, could spawn a pretty violent tornado and some damaging winds and large hail. And that's also going to lead to some flooding as it turns into a squall line, and that's going to dump upwards of 2 to 4 inches as well. And that's going to lead us to the marginal risk on Thursday. I expect the worst of the severe weather to hit Louisiana and Mississippi at right around the early morning hours of Thursday, and over by Florida and Alabama through the evening hours of Thursday. As you can see, it turns into a squall line as it enters Mobile, Alabama. If you live within the slight risk today and the enhanced risk zones tomorrow, and even the marginal risk zone on Thursday, remain weather aware, know where to go when that tornado rain goes off. Never fear, a shelter is near. Now, you may wonder, why did they issue the risks for the next 3 days? I'll show you why. Now, I'm going to show you the thermodynamics first. I'm going to show you the temperatures. You see there's a sort of a battle zone setting up right here. That's what's going to be causing some severe weather, or first mode of it anyway. Then we got our moisture. Moisture levels are going to be pretty high as well for today and tomorrow. Definitely the thermodynamics are there for severe weather development. And now I'm going to show you the significant tornadic parameters. This is basically what pulls all the weather modes, puts it all into one run, spits out one total of where you could possibly see a tornado. The tornadic parameters aren't off the charts today, but they are on Hump Day, as you can see. Around a 3 out of 10 on the tornadic scale. Now, that doesn't mean a tornado is going to form within this whole area. It just means that the ingredients are there for tornadic development. Let's take a look at a sounding in the hodograph. Sounding on the left, hodograph on the right. First, take a look at the sounding. We got some mid 70 degree temperatures and low 70 degree dew points. Not much of an elevated mixed layer up until right around the mid levels. And what elevated mixed layer means is basically it clears out the clouds so that the sun comes out and basically destabilizes the environment for severe weather development. We got a high cape out there. Got upwards of 4,000 joules per kilogram. So definitely a powder keg environment as far as the thermodynamics go. As far as the wind shear goes, the kinematics are pretty high as well. So definitely all ingredients are there for some severe weather development, including strong and violent tornadoes on Wednesday. As you can see, surface winds are at around 10 knots heading out of the southeast. As we head in the mid levels of the atmosphere, they're starting to back and getting stronger. So definitely got a lot of wind shear and rotating winds out there. And as you can see, that's why they have the little curvature and the hodograph. That's basically rotating winds. Basically, it looks down on the atmosphere. This looks up on the atmosphere. Then we're going to look at the 500 millibar jet stream. This is what shows us basically a top down on the atmosphere. Basically, the jet stream. Now, sort of a positive tilted trough today, where it turns negative on Wednesday, on Hump Day. This is why they issued the enhanced risk zone for tomorrow and not today, because the positive tilt basically suppresses severe weather and negative tilted troughs basically bring bad weather. But either way, whatever risk you are under for the next 3 days, remain weather aware. Know where to go when that 21 goes off, and keep all the cars in the garage if you don't want any hail dents on them. And make sure you tie down anything you don't want blowing around out there, including Speedos. As y'all may remember, Chris and his Speedos over there. He don't keep his Speedos tied up. Gladys gets all ticked off at him. Now get your Speedos off my lawn. Now, other than severe weather, we do have some winter weather to talk about, as there's some winter storm warnings and advisories issued over here in Colorado and Wyoming. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look at the time frame when you could expect the worst from these springtime winter storms. Keep in mind the times up here if you want to keep track. Push this forward. Looks like it's going to be gaining intensity through the overnight hours tonight into the early morning hours of hump day. And it's going to start to diminish as we head into the overnight hours on Wednesday. Now, how much snow could you possibly expect from this springtime winter storm over here in the Colorado mountains? Now, it looks like up here in the Colorado mountains, looks like y'all could expect upwards of about 50 inches. That's in the upper elevations. Now, as we head into the lower elevations, right around 3 to 6 inches. Some areas could see upwards of a foot of snow. And if you have to get on the road today, please be careful, as there's also been extreme impacts that have been issued for the next 3 days. So please pack that safety kit with you. A blanket, flashlight, emergency radio, some cat litter too, in case you get stuck out there. That provide some traction for you. Let's take a look at what's coming up as we head towards May. Looking at the Euro model, keep in mind date and times up here if you want to keep track. We know we got the severe weather that's happening in the next 3 days, as well as a winter storm that's affecting Colorado and Wyoming. What happens after that, it's going to be pretty interesting as it turns into the northeast. It's going to be doing a little bit of a dosey-do, sort of a hurricane cyclone event happening in the upper atmosphere. Got snow on the western side and got some rain on the eastern side. So definitely pretty interesting weather as we head into May. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. As you see, we got this little dosey-do here. Kind of a hurricane in the upper levels of the atmosphere, basically what it is. We're looking at the temperature anomalies. This is basically our temperature outlook for the next coming days. You know, we've been in that cooling period for quite some time. It looks like we're going to remain in that cooling period for the eastern part of the country. The western part of the country is going to be above average from what it looks like on here. For the eastern part of the country, unfortunately, it looks like wintertime's not going to be letting go, although it is springtime. And according to the Climate Prediction Center, it looks like it's in agreement with that, as it looks like below average temperatures are in store out east, and above average temperatures are in store out west for the next 6 to 10 days. As far as the 8 to 14 day outlook goes, it's like a battle zone here in the middle. Got warm weather in the middle expected, and cold weather out west and out east. As far as precipitation goes, here in the orange, y'all are below average in the middle part of the country, and the northeast and the western part of the country, and even in Florida, y'all are above average as far as precip goes. The next 8 to 14 days, it looks like much of the Midwest and Northeast are going to be below average, and much of the West and the South are going to be above average. So it looks like a wacky weather pattern is in store, as we're going to be having some severe weather in the next coming days, and even some springtime winter storms up there in the Colorado mountains. Definitely good for the ski slopes. As we head towards the middle of May, it looks like we're heading into sort of a dosey-do weather pattern, sort of a cyclone in the upper level of the atmosphere. And it looks like we're heading into a cool down as well in the eastern part of the country. So if you like the video, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe down below. Feedback is appreciated, and I appreciate y'all for watching. And until next time, never stop forecasting.